Hey everyone, it's Molly Otaku, and normally I don't do reviews of individual episodes, but episode 6 really stood out to me in just the way they tackled the philosophical and moral differences these characters had. And many people, including me, had like a Fate Zero vibe. And it's understandable since they're directed by the same person. This was honestly a really good surprise. So, episode 6 was probably the most exciting one because we finally get to see all the characters we've been introduced to, finally just meeting up, talking about their differences, and reconciling their world. Sort of. But we're introduced to this new girl, Magane, and she's freaking psycho. You got characters like Yuya, who's also the antagonist from his own manga, but, he's not like pure evil. He does the right thing sometimes. The way I see it is that he's kind of like an anti-hero, chaotic neutral type of character. Now, the new girl just freaking straight up shreds a dude, after asking her to pay for shit she shoplifted. Like, what the fuck? We do get to see like how her power works, and it's actually quite interesting. So she basically makes like a ludicrous claim like, "This cat's gonna attack you. You're crazy. Cats love me." And when you reject that claim, it becomes like a lie of a lie, and it turns inside out on itself, and then it becomes true. It's kind of like a double negative equals a positive kind of thing. There's probably more to her character. She's probably more complex than just, fucking killing people just for fun. She probably has her own motives. Now, one thing that really bugged me in this episode was Sota. He freaking... Okay, so in the beginning, we do see that he finds out, like, oh shit, he does have a connection to, the military uniform princess. But when Celestia comes knocking, he just freaking clams up and doesn't tell her about it. And it's freaking annoying, because imagine how different the story would have been, He and his teammates could have put all their minds together and just come up with a plan, because now he actually knows some intel on the girl. But instead, he just, sitting there quietly and just keeping it to himself. Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he was feeling lightheaded and guilty from the revelation. I don't know. Now, the highest point of this anime so far is the confrontation amongst all the characters. Like, we finally get to see all their, ideologies and worldviews coming together and just butting heads. So it starts out with Alisteria and Mamika approaching the new girl and trying to recruit her to join their cause. But immediately, Alisteria's like, holy shit, this girl's up to no good. Like, she reeks of blood. She's just, she just kills people for fun. And it's safe to say that Alisteria's probably killed a shit ton of people in the past, defending justice and all that. So she has a pretty high body count of her own. And so Magane latches onto that and just basically says, well, what do we do? How are we so different? You kill for your name of justice, which is subjective, and I kill for fun. What's wrong with that? Killing's killing, right? And to that, I say fucking bullshit, all right? What about self-defense? What about protecting your family, yourself, your loved ones, public peace? That's vastly different from killing people for fun. While I may not agree with the new girl's interpretation of justice, it is good to see these ideologies placed under the spotlight and criticized, because it does allow for some interesting character developments. And we see why Alisteria is just so willing to use force to, change her world. She describes her world as this really horrifying place with mountains of bodies and rivers red with blood, and it's not somewhere where you'd want to live. So it really puts into perspective why she's so willing to follow the military uniform girl's plans. But the ironic thing is, the more she follows the plans, probably, most likely, the body count will keep going up higher. And Meteora points out that her strict and dogmatic adherence to her values would basically cause her more trouble. It's basically a curse. She's always going to be unhappy. She's always going to be fighting, and the bodies would just keep piling up. It kind of sounds familiar. Now, my favorite character so far is probably Mamika. And not just because I have a soft spot for pink-haired magical girls, but, she's in a really interesting position right now. She's still shaken up from her first fight with Celestia, just realizing, oh my god, this world isn't just unicorn farts and rainbows, like people actually die. And we see that in her exchange between Alistaria and Mamika is that, she doesn't really care if the person on their team really agrees with their goals. She really cares if they're a good person. These lines of dialogue really reveals a lot about her character. And also, during the confrontation between the two sides, she tries to keep things peaceful. She doesn't want any more fighting. And even during the fight, when Meteora was already knocked out and the dude is about to basically shoot her in the face, she steps in and turns against him to protect her. And the reason why she does this, it's because when she goes home, she doesn't want to feel guilty. And when you think about it, a lot of magical girl animes actually don't end with like the bad guy, getting axed. They try to find a way to reconcile their two, opposing worldviews and even become friends at the end. These are the type of interpersonal conflicts I like the most when it comes to magical girl animes, especially Lyrical Nanoha between Nanoha and Fate. This episode was the most exciting so far because we finally get to see all these people coming together and clashing. The previous episodes were all like setting things up, introducing new characters, and showing that, hey, the military is actually going to get involved, because it's not just, the fate of the world isn't going to rest on some kid's shoulders alone. I mean, he needs help. So hopefully this episode is a sign of great things to come, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. What do you think about this anime so far? Are you as optimistic as me? Or do you think it's not going to live up to the hype? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.